Hi, good afternoon, art friends. It's me, Teacher Jem, and welcome to today's art class for the week. So, what we have here is a picture of a muffin. Now, what we need to do to be able to construct this image is, of course, we need to get the height. Let's just say, let's put it here. Okay, now once we have the height, now you need to put up the width. Let's just say, let's put it on this area. So we have the height, the width. Now what you need to do is dissect this one. So you need to evaluate on which one is much more taller, much more bigger. On this case, the paper is above the middle part. So let's just say the paper is around here. So the muffin is around this area, the paper is around this part. Now you need to get the bottom area on which it will land somewhere here. So let's just say around this area. So get this one and also this part. Okay, then once you have all the positions, what you need to evaluate later on is the area where the two-tone shadows are going to be placed, but mostly they go out of the area where the subject is. Then once we have the construction drawing, what you need to do is evaluate the top part of the subject, which is the muffin. So let's just say it is around this area. Now if you notice, the shape is not the same as on both sides. In art terms, you call that asymmetrical. So continue working on the muffin or on your subject, and then combine symmetrical and asymmetrical on getting the balance or the overall shape. Because if you notice, both are curved here, but they're not symmetrical. So make it as close as much as possible. So you could adjust it around here, and then the paper of the muffin will be around this area. Then you need a little bit of cut to get this one, and also on this side. Of course, since it's leaning a bit on this side, this one will have a bit more of the weight compared to the other side, but you could do that later on as you work on the shadows and the shades of the muffin. Now what you need to do is continue to construct the image as simple as possible. Then the base plate, of course, it is going to be somewhere here. Now once you've create the base plate, what you need to do is pay attention to this one, the cut, where the paper fold will be located. So it's somewhere here. Then once you have that, the basic construction, what you need to pay attention is to cut this one, yung area where the curves would be, into three parts. So let's just say we'll cut this one and we'll cut the other one. So we have a three-part section of the folds. Now once you have those, and if you want to work on the fold, I want you to start in the middle. Let's just say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So I will work slowly here, so I could get a ratio of 8. Now I do let my students not to copy them 100%, because what they need to pay attention there is the movement of the paper, which is the curved part. Now once you have the 8, then you could work on the side and then continue counting up until you could get the shape that you want. Now once you have the shape, then you could literally zoom in on the image so you could easily work on the shading or the shadows. uh, what you need to pay attention there is to work as slowly as you can, because it will create a lot of fold, and the more slowly you work, the easier it is to execute the artwork or the subject. What you need to pay attention is the right side will have more of the shading compared to the left side. The left side has more light, and so this one has more light and this one has more shadow. That's the reason why we have a double cast shadow underneath and a lighter shade of shadow around the muffin. So this is Teacher Zheng. I hope you learned something from us here at Studio Angelina and World of Arts. We'll be back next week for another week of art class. Before we wrap it up, I will just give one last art tip. So the top part of the muffin is going to be divided into three parts: the darker shade, the medium shade, and then the top part. The medium shade is around this area, this one, and then of course the top shape is on the top, on this one. So this one will also have a darker shade. Now for the muffin, this one, I would tell my students here to work on stippling, or on that, doing dot patterns. Now this will take time in creating, but it would get those little details that you usually would miss when working on regular shading. Now if in the event that you want to work on a regular shade, first shade as light as you can on paper, and then detail it with stippling or pointillism or dots and dab technique. So this is Teacher Zheng. I hope you learned something from us. May everyone have a wonderful day. Stay home, stay safe. God bless, love and peace.